Hello, everyone. Here's a video with some more information about your interviewing assignment. Again, the interviewing assignment covers both chapters 4 and 5. First of all of you should have already looked up your information sources, but if you need a little more direction, here are a few recommendations. When you're looking for sources, look at local, national, international news organizations, periodicals or journals. Library has encyclopedias, books on different topics, government websites, .gov.edu. Look at both the local and national level. Some local organizations only have social media, so make sure you check those as well. Go on Facebook, go on Twitter, look up all that good stuff. Now, social media and internet searches can provide information. However, I strongly recommend using caution if you're taking any information from those kinds of general sources. Back up whatever you find with credible information from field experts, eyewitnesses, any reputable news organizations, scientific journals, government websites, all of those things. Go to the source of the information before you repeat what someone said. Now, for your story focus, this is what you want to start with. What is my story? You're going to develop an outline. Start with your lead or focus, which may change based on your interview information. But the key of creating a good lead is asking yourself, what makes this story newsworthy? Look at your foci: fame, oddity, conflict, immediacy, impact. All of those elements are an excellent place to start when developing your lead. Answer the questions who, what, when, where, why, and how with your current information. Organize that information based on its importance to the lead. Then look at it and ask yourself what is missing. Interview sources based on what they can add to your story. Now, interview preparation. What is the purpose of your interview? Is it a first-person account of a car crash or something else that happened? Is it a personal connection? Do they know someone who died from coronavirus? Are they personally involved in whatever event is happening? Are they an authority on the subject you're covering? Are they a person of interest, a politician, lead organizer, famous person, someone involved with the topic in a meaningful way? You can also get information from a person on the street. This is when you want an everyday Joe's opinion of what's happening. A lot of times this will be for a feature story, like I did a couple before for Valentine's Day, where you want to see how people are dating in 2020 and 2021. Or you want to ask their opinions about a political leader. That's a person on the street. Starting questions: say and spell first and last name. You want to make sure that they say and spell it so you have it on tape and you know how to say it if you need to during a broadcast. Interviewee's title and their name of the business or whatever event they are a part of. Make sure you have additional contact information. Have an email, have a phone number, have an address if you need it. Make sure that you have a way to get in touch with them if you need to ask them more questions. And don't be afraid of asking them more questions. A lot of people are happy to go back and improve your story by giving you more information. And also, your interview should reflect the topic and the interviewee's relationship to the topic. Now, questions. You have open and closed-ended questions. Open-ended questions are going to allow for extended answers from your source. It'll help you get really great emotional information, or if you need more context for whatever facts you have, ask an open-ended question. Close-ended questions will help you gather specific information. If you need to say, were you there the night of whatever, ask that is a close-ended question, and it will help you force someone to say yes or no, or give you a certain number or other datum you need. Now, tell them you are recording your interview. This is not required by Louisiana law, but it is polite. All you need to say is, hey, do you mind if I record this interview so I can review it later? They will almost always say yes. Now, write 5 or 6 questions based on your research before you go in for the interview. Have a logical flow to your ideas. So point A should lead to point B, should lead to point C, but also allow for the possibility that you may have to ask other follow-up questions or ask them to repeat their answers in a different way in order for you to understand whatever it is they said, especially if it's someone who has a lot of jargon and specific lingo to whatever their field is. Now, this quote from Adam Silverman is an excellent summation of what you need to do whenever you are writing. Write tight, simplify, be clear, avoid pronouns, complicated sentences, passive voice, and negative constructions as much as possible. Remember, you are writing for your audience. They didn't do any of the research you did. They were not there for the interview. You are taking this complex idea and summarizing it for them in an easy to understand way. Now, when you're using the inverted pyramid style, of course, you start with your most important points, which should be in your lead. Who, what, where, when, why, how. You don't have to use, I wouldn't hold you to the 30 words issue. To me, the most important part is, are you answering those questions, and are you doing it in a way where someone can understand you easily? Now, of course, your lead may include a hook. This would be some sort of, if you have a really emotional quote or a question, I would avoid the question part more, but if you do have a really good quote from your interview, you could definitely start with it. The body, of course, is going to be filled with additional important details about your subject. Explain the argument or the controversy a bit more. What's the problem? What are the 2 or more points of view on the topic? Now, the tail is going to be any additional information, not something that is crucial to the story, but it will still be important for your reader to know. You'll rank everything from most to least important, include only information you need, and ask yourself, what is important to my audience? Attribute all facts or statements. Now, here's an example from the Acadiana Advocate. The writer wrote, novel coronavirus, vaccination appointments opened to Louisiana K-12 educators and school support staff on Monday, and public and private school leaders in Lafayette are working to help interested educators get access to doses. So this is their lead. That's their fact. That is the new information about vaccine appointments they are wishing to tell the public. Now, where did they find this information? Governor Edwards announced Thursday, so they found it from Governor Edwards' announcement, that teachers and support staff at state K-12 schools and daycares would be eligible for COVID-19 vaccines. So we have our most important information. That's the new thing that's happening right now in the lead, and it is backed up by where they found it and when it was made available in the second sentence. Okay, for your assignment review, what do you turn in? You're turning in a copy of your interview. It can be audio, video, or text. Include your source's name, title, how they relate to the story, and the date interviewed. Include your news story. So your information, title, no quotes around the title, body, follow inverted pyramid guidelines. So you're starting with your lead and your most important information and going toward the least important information that you still need to include in your news story. Make sure everything is in AP style. Most of your writing should be in past tense. Unless you're discussing something that will happen in the future, it is probably information that happened already, so it will be in the past. Reference section includes source materials and your interview. So go to the APA style guideline page and check how to include references for interviews, for newspapers, and whatever government websites, whatever, wherever else you looked for information. Make sure you're following the guide for that type of information. Now, there is not a maximum or minimum word count. What I want from you is information developed in a thought out process that shows you actually understand what you wrote. Now, everything is due this coming Monday, March 1st by 11:55 p.m. If you have any questions about how to create an article, what should a news article look like, I have an example listed here. Now, this one includes multiple reliable sources. It answers who, what, when, where, why, and how in a clear and concise manner, and explains why this information is important to the reader. There are multiple levels of details. Now, this author did interview several people, so don't expect to write something quite this long. If you only have, you're only expected to have one interview for this project. But I would like you to keep this in mind for your second article. You will need to have 2 interviews for that one. And this will, again, be a great source for you to look and check and see if you're following the same inverted style and have all of the information you need. If you have any questions, send me an email, post them on Moodle. I will get back to you as soon as I am available. Thank you.